What's going on, world? We are back, recapping week 2 in the NFL college sports, hitting up WWE Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live, giving you our predictions for the pay-per-view No Mercy, in other sports, and then our week 3 recap in the NFL. We are Sports Moods. 2 Moodys,
1 Duty.
Sports. Let go. World, like I said, we are back here at Sports Moods. I am C Moody here with
D Moody.
That's right, and we are here to recap NFL Week 2, get on recapping college sports. Then we're going to dive into some WWE action with Monday Night Raw, Smackdown Live, and we're going to actually give our predictions on the pay-per-view No Mercy, the Raw pay-per-view this upcoming Sunday. Then we're going to get into the MLB, a little bit of NBA talk with Kyrie Irving. We're going to get into some other sports, and then we're going to end it once again with our NFL Week 3 predictions. So let's go ahead and dive into these Week 2 recap. If anybody's keeping score from Week 1, I kind of took the lead with 12-3 as far as the predictions go, while D Moody was a little bit behind with 5-10.
Oh,
but I mean, just to be a spoiler to this, he definitely took week 2.
Yeah,
but we're going to go ahead and get into it.
I was going to come back. This is just going to continue over the next several weeks. I'm going to take the lead. So
okay.
It's bound to happen.
I hear you. But I'm going to start it off, and we're going to get on Texans versus the Bengals, which I predicted was going to happen. 13-9. I have to give a shout out to Watson. He was 15 out of 24 for 125 yards passing. But he did 5 carries for 67 yards with one big 49-yard game with 1 touchdown. And a little known fact on the side, that was his 22nd birthday. And it was his first start. And it was the only touchdown in the game.
That's awesome. I mean, this wasn't really one of those games where you were just on the edge of your seats. It was really one of these grinded out type football games. Right now, if I'm Cincinnati, they're in some trouble right now.
Definitely.
They look terrible.
Yeah, they're 0-2 now.
0-2 right now, and it's only going to get worse, I think. I mean, like I said last week, I think it's time for a change there. They need a fresh face there, a new coach. Right now I think Marvin Lewis, if this continues, I think if they get to like 0-4 possibly, or maybe even this week, I'm thinking he's not going to finish out the season in Cincinnati this year. I think there's going to be a firing there. Just given the fact of how poorly they're playing right now and given all the past things that they've done leading up until this point, all the playoff losses.
Right.
It's long overdue right now.
And what year was that when they played the Bengals? They were in the playoffs against the Steelers. Wasn't that a wild card?
That was last year.
Last year.
And they had all those different things going on with Burfict and the hit on Antonio Brown, all the fighting and the shoving. And then you had
a horrible game.
Pittsburgh's defensive coach, their former player, Joey Porter, on the field. That game was just a lot going on in that wild card game, but Marvin Lewis is 0-5 in the playoffs. Could be 0-6. I want to say 0-5, and I just feel like if he starts out the gate 0-3, 0-4, they need to go ahead and pull the plug on him.
Something's going to have to change.
But again, Watson really had a good game. He's looking really good right now. I think that's the guy that they're going to go with right now. DeAndre Hopkins looks more comfortable out there.
Yeah.
Catching, he had some really good catches in that game. I don't really see Tom Savage being that guy. I think that was just the guy they wanted to put in because he just had a little bit more experience than Watson. But I think Watson's going to be the guy to carry them through the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think in his debut he actually showed his worth. So I agree with you. I think they're going to keep him throughout the season.
Yep. So I was wrong on that one. I'm not picking Cincinnati unless I know for sure they can get a win. But the last 2 weeks I've picked them, they've let me down. So
unless they're playing the 49ers.
They're garbage right now.
Unless
they put me in a bad mood.
Yes, sir.
First one of many on this podcast this week.
Oh, man. The second one I'm going to get into, I'm going to do the Panthers versus the Bills, which both of us agree that the Panthers is going to pull it out. They won 9-3, so not a really good offensive game in this one. The defense, I think Carolina defense has only allowed 3 points in the 2 games so far this season, only allowing 176 total yards, in which 3 sacks, and 2 of them were by Julius Peppers.
Yeah, Julius Peppers still playing really good football. You know, he's been in the league for a while now, so that Panthers defense is still pretty good.
Definitely.
Really, right now, I figured Buffalo would lose this game. I didn't think they would be limited as much as they were on offense this week.
Yeah.
But the huge thing right now we got to focus on is Cam Newton's health, because didn't he go down in that game?
I think so.
Yeah, so I haven't really had a chance to really look in to see if he's going to be playing this week or not. But I think he's a big part of what they do.
Right.
So I really believe his health is going to play a big role. They're 2-0 right now. Yeah. Good thing is if he can't start this week, they have Derek Anderson, somebody who's been a starter at one time in this league, has come in situations when Cam has been hurt and has actually won some football games. So it's good to have a really good backup quarterback with some experience there.
Exactly. Solid quarterback. Mm-hmm. Who you got next, Demo?
Tampa Bay, Chicago. This is actually Tampa Bay's first game of the season. As we know, they had a cancellation of week 1 when they were supposed to play Miami.
Right.
They did get the opening win of the season for them, 29-7 over Chicago. So we both agreed that Tampa would win that game. Yep. So I really felt that Jameis Winston still has a lot to prove as a quarterback there. Definitely. They have a really good team in place there. And I think when they get their running back, I can't remember his name right now. I think it's what's their running back's name?
Talking about Jacquizz Rodgers.
Well, no, not him. I think he's filling in. Their running back right now is suspended. I think his name is, and I should know this, guys. How am I going to be a sports reporter?
That's all right. We just
and don't know the running back's name. I think Doug Martin. That's it.
Okay.
Gotcha. Doug Martin. I'm sorry about that, guys. Doug Martin. I think when he comes back from his suspension, he's just only going to add to what they're doing. But 1-0, I mean, they won that first game, and Chicago's 0-2 right now. I really don't expect a lot out of Chicago this year. What was your thoughts on it?
No, man, I agree with you, man. Jameis Winston had a really good game to start off this season. He went 18-30 with 204 yards with 1 touchdown. And like I was saying about Jacquizz Rodgers, he pulled out 67 yards and 19 carries for a touchdown. And I agree. I mean, I feel like they're a solid team. I don't see much out of the Bears either. I mean, they're pretty much at the bottom of the barrel for me, the Bears, between them and the 49ers, which I hate to say because, I mean, the Bears was a solid team back before my time. But, yeah, I agree with you, man. That's really all I can say. I want to see more from the Bucs. I hope that they actually have a really good season and we can, see more success from this team.
They had some good stuff going last year, too. I think they were like 6-6 at one point down the stretch. I think if they would have won 3 out of their last 4 games, or all 4 games that they had left last year, they would have made the playoffs. But they kind of hit a rough patch to end the season last year. So hopefully this year they can do some good things in the NFC. The next game I have was Pittsburgh versus Minnesota. Both of these teams were 1-0 to start the year. Pittsburgh did get the win, 26-9. We both agreed.
No,
you didn't have Pittsburgh.
I went Vikings.
Oh, you went Vikings. Yeah, because I was telling you about the 5-0 and all that last week and all that hype about Sam Bradford. And he got hurt in this game.
He was hurt. That was one thing I wanted to say. I did not know that he was hurt. I think, you said he got hurt in the game.
Let me give you a little bit of history on Sam Bradford. He was a really great college quarterback at Oklahoma.
Right.
Since Sam Bradford has been in the league, he has never finished a complete season. He's always been injury prone. All the way back from your days to, what was the team he used to play for? I think it was the Rams that drafted him. I want to say, I could be wrong, but don't quote me on this.
Oh, yeah.
You put your trust in Sam Bradford. Now, give or take, he's looked a lot better in Minnesota than he has anywhere else.
True.
But this week he wasn't available there. Pittsburgh got the win. They're 2-0 on the year. So what was your take on that game?
I feel bad in retrospect betting against Ben Roethlisberger. I'll say that he definitely pulled off a great game, 23 of 25, 243 yards with 2 touchdowns. And Martavis Bryant, 3 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown.
It's good to see him doing good because he went to Clemson, us being from the South Carolina area.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm happy to see anybody from Clemson or South Carolina Gamecocks doing well. So that was good to see him. I know he missed a lot of last season due to some off-the-field stuff, but to see him back in, and that gives him another threat to go with Antonio Brown, too, to stretch the field for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, definitely.
Arizona, Indianapolis, we know Arizona right now is dealing with some issues right now with David Johnson being out, possibly for the rest of the year. So just making some adjustments there. They kind of still struggle with the Colts a little bit. I thought they would kind of win this game handedly, but they went to overtime there. Who did you go with in this game?
We both agreed on the Cardinals, man. Like I said, I was shocked with you as well. Like realizing that they were down 13-3 to start the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I didn't expect the Cardinals to struggle this much with the Colts, especially with their performance in the first game against the Rams, considering how much we, to beat them. So, but I mean, it was a good comeback game, I guess, for them. Carson Palmer did go 19 for 36, 332 yards, 1 touchdown, but 1 interception. And they played from behind pretty much the entire game. So for them to pull it off, that's good for them. But to me, it was poor performance considering the team they played, and just coming back in the fourth quarter showed the spark, but they should have been good from the get-go.
Yeah, and still haven't heard anything from Indianapolis when Andrew Luck's going to be back. I know they have they want to probably make that decision with a lot of care over the next couple of weeks, but you don't want your season to get too far out of hand. By the time he comes back, he's got to try to be the savior and try to rally off 5 or 6 wins in a row to be in contention. So hopefully we'll see Andrew Luck in the next couple of weeks. A lot of stuff has not still been determined for his future for this season.
Definitely.
What's the next game you got?
Well, speaking of the Colts, I might as well go to the team that beat them in Week 1. We're going to go with the Redskins and the Rams, which, I mean, I appreciate you as my brother agreeing with me to try to go for the Rams.
I knew that wasn't going to work out in our favor there.
But, the Redskins did come out with this win 27-20. But, I mean, it was a good game. And actually, Kirk Cousins had to score an 11-yard pass at 1:49 left on the clock to seal the win. So, I mean, that's still a good game. So, I don't feel bad about picking the Rams. I just didn't expect that to happen. So,
but it's going to be a lot of that this year. A lot of stuff. I feel like we're going to have a lot of these podcasts, and you're going to come every week with, we played a good game, but
oh man, here we go.
No more victories, man.
Look, let me tell you this now. Jared Goff still had a decent game, 15 out of 25, 224 yards, and Todd Gurley had 88 yards.
Yeah, Todd Gurley really did good. He gave me some good fantasy points this week.
See, and for us to be down 10-20 at the half, I mean, we stuck in it.
It was very funny this week, and I hate to do this to you because the Rams, they share the stadium with the USC Trojans, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they showed how packed the stadium was for the Trojans.
I saw that.
On Saturday, and then on Sunday they showed how everybody was a lack of fans there for the Rams. So, the Rose Bowl, that's the LA Coliseum, that's a big Coliseum.
Right.
It's one of the most historic coliseums and venues in America for football purposes anyway. And to see it not really full was kind of like, So maybe the Rams are still growing on the people of LA, but for the people of LA, the Trojans are their pro team, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I hate to bash you guys, but it was funny when I came across that.
Hey, man, we're 1-1. We're in there.
NFC Championship is what you predict.
That's what I said. We're going to lose to the Cowboys. Which once again,
I don't know because the way we'll talk about that. We'll get into it because
Next, I'm gonna get into the Chiefs versus the Eagles, which we both went on the Chiefs, and they did pull out a W, 27-20, same score as the one before. Alex Smith had a good game. He went 21 out of 28. That's a really good percentage.
Yeah.
251 yards and a touchdown. Also, Wentz, he definitely had a good on the other side on the Eagles. He had 25 out of 46.